Greetings, test subjects! It is I, the great DB Dornake, broadcasting deep beneath the earth from my subterranean laboratory. And tonight we continue in our fear research. As you dive into tonight's suspense story, I ask that you remember that your engagement does fuel our experiments, so please do log into the YouTube app and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. That helps us know how many people are interested in these types of stories we're telling. And of course, also hit the like button for us so we know that that particular story caught your interest. Now, these stories are all based on a good scary joke, so we ask that when you also hit that like button, you comment below and put down a good scary joke, because then we could use that for maybe some future stories. Who knows? Now, this week's test subject that I have as a guest is a returning test subject, Igor. You enjoyed coming on the show so much that you wanted to hear another little story at night. Is that right?
Wait, that's the way out of here? How do I get out of here?
Let's change the subject. Who do you have with you there?
I have my little kitty Binks.
Ah, Binks. I recognize that name. Is that from a movie or?
Yeah, Hocus Pocus.
Ah, Hocus Pocus. So Hocus Pocus with, of course, Bette Midler and the rest. Is that right?
I'm not sure. I haven't watched
it. And tell me, what's your favorite part in the story of Hocus Pocus? Ah, I like that. That was a funny part too. I remember when she pulls the rat tail down from the ceiling. Is that right? Because it was close to that time in the movie. They're in their witch's hut. Great film. Now, tonight we are going to be unleashing untold terrors on you as we begin our chilling tale. And since we have a real scaredy cat with us this evening, let's hope that it puts a tingle in your tails too. Now, Harold, this story is called Doppelganger Danger. Pretty good title, eh? I'm not the guy who makes up the titles, but I'm pretty proud of them. Now, this story begins with our protagonist, Harold Kramer, a neurotic man from Lexington, Kentucky. He was having a peculiar week. Everywhere he went, he heard stories about himself. About him going onto buses that he had never taken, and walking down streets he had never visited, and entering buildings that he'd never seen before. Has that sort of thing happened to you before, Igor?
Nope.
No, never once. Well, Harold seemed to be having it happen to him all the time. Each tale was eerily detailed, too, leaving Harold both puzzled and a little unnerved. One evening, while he was talking to his overbearing mother on the phone, Harold heard another such story from her. Harold, I just talked to Miss Jenkins, and she swears she saw you at the park today. Now, what were you doing there? I wasn't at the park, Mother, said Harold. I was at work. He was exasperated. His mother she barely listened to him anyway. And she continued her belittling monologue about how he should get out more and make friends. Now he was determined to get to the bottom of these strange occurrences. So Harold decided to investigate. He visited the park, Mrs. Jenkins had mentioned to his mother, and he noticed that there was a surveillance camera. And it was mounted on a lamppost, and now he mustered his courage and he approached the park's office, and he asked to see the footage. Now, as the grainy video played, Harold's heart raced. There he was, or at least someone who looked an awful lot like him, strolling through the park. The sight sent chills down his spine, almost causing him to drop his phone as his mother's voice droned on in the background. The discovery gnawed at Harold's already frayed nerves. What if this double had a better life than even him? What if he had a better job? Better friends? Any friends? Maybe he even had a happier existence. The more he thought about it, the more anxious he became. He began to wonder if this double's life was superior. Was Harold the real one? Or was he merely a shadow of a more successful version of him? His obsession grew. Harold tracked down every location that his doppelganger had been. Each place held its own eerie atmosphere, adding to a gnawing and growing unease. He noticed a pattern in the sightings, suggesting that the doppelganger followed a routine. Now, test subject, since we've hit a lull in the story, I do think things are about to pick up. Where would you say that your fear level is right now?
Say, meh.
Meh?
You're kind of boring her to sleep right out here.
Yes, I noticed that. You need to wake yourself up. Now, what we'll do is we'll just bring up the level here. We'll adjust the polarity. This thing wasn't even on. I tell you, you just can't get good help these days. Mutagen came in here earlier, was adjusting everything, and he turned off my machine. That's why the cat's fallen asleep. This story's gold! Forget it. Let's move on. Now, Harold's obsession grew. He tracked down every location of the doppelganger that he had seen. Now, each place held its own eerie atmosphere. And one evening, while on the phone with his mother, following the doppelganger's routine, Harold found himself near the bus stop where his double was last spotted. Now, the streets were dimly lit, casting long shadows that seemed to move on their own. His mother's voice crackled in his ear, demanding to know where and what he was doing. "I think that I'm close, Mother," he whispered, his eyes darting around. "I think that I'm close, Mother. I just need to do this." Then he saw him. the back of a man that looked exactly like him,
Back.
waiting for the bus. Harold's heart pounded as he followed the figure onto the bus. His mother was still yammering in his ear. His mind raced with fear. And maybe this doppelganger was the real Harold, and he was the imposter. What do you see, Harold? What's happening? His mother pressed. For once, she sounded genuinely interested. Now, Harold's breath quickened. He approached the man and he sat down beside him, trembling with anticipation and fear. He finally trembling with anticipation. He turned to the phone, speaking to his mother, and his voice shaking as his mind unraveled. And his last thing before he fell into a shaking into horror and a touch of hysteria was, Mother, I'm beside myself. A lot of fumes in here. That's our story. Now, and what a thrilling tale. Now, deep below the earth here in my lab, we constantly seek to push the boundaries of fear. Now, test subject Igor, tell me, did this pressing story of doppelganger danger pierce through your thick metal helmet and induce enough fear for us to up the level on our machine?
Tiny.
I'll adjust it at the maximum for next time. Now remember, test subjects, participation is crucial. Log into the app, subscribe, hit like, and comment with your favorite scary joke. And until next time, remain curious, keep watching. You can laugh too.